Are you ready to take your striking game to the next level? Then you've got to get the focus ball. Dramatically improve footwork, timing, reflex, hand-eye coordination, head movement, and striking IQ. Lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere with the focus ball.
Hi, it's Vinny. You're watching Dante Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So the WBC champion of the world, Devin Haney, after dominating Yuriorkis Gamboa, he's asked who does he want next? Who's the main person he wants? And he says the main person he wants is Teofimo Lopez. He said because he's the one that has all the other belts. And this is what fighters who truly believe they're the best in the division do, right? True champions, they go after the other champions in the division. So there is no disputing who the real champion is in the division. This is what Gennady Golovkin told us he wanted to do years back. He said his main goal was to unify all the belts in the middleweight division. But once his mandatories got tougher and tougher, then all those plans changed. And Jermall Charlo had a lot to do with Golovkin changing those plans. Canelo Alvarez was in the same boat as Golovkin. He told the public, he wants to be the unified champion. He wants to have all the belts in the middleweight division. And then once Demetrius Andrade got a belt, he no longer wants to be a unified champion at the middleweight division, or any division at that matter right now. So my point is, when Devin Haney says he wants all the belts, he means it. The question is, does Teofimo Lopez want all of the belts? I mean, even Lopez said it himself right after he beat Lomachenko. He said in the post-fight press conference, he said, I know some people don't feel that I'm the real unified champion because of the whole stuff that happened with the franchise and the fact that Devin Haney has a belt. That's when he said, but I'll go ahead and fight Devin Haney for bragging rights. So even Lopez himself, he acknowledges that it's being disputed if he's the undisputed champion of the world. And that's the reason why they call it the undisputed champion of the world. Because if he was, no one would be disputing that. So the talks are Tank Davis may end up fighting Ryan Garcia next. So if Ryan Garcia and Tank are unavailable, the only other opponent that's available for Teofimo Lopez would be the WBC champion, Devin Haney. Now let me tell you what Teofimo said about Devin's performance over Yuriorkis Gamboa. He said, email champion performance, again, need I say more, undisputed lightweight champion. So guys, by hearing Teofimo Lopez say what he just said, does it sound like he wants to fight Devin Haney? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see, because Lopez did say that he wants to wait to see how Ryan Garcia looks against Luke Campbell and how Devin Haney looks against Yuriorkis Gamboa. So I'm just thinking, if Teo is not going to move up to 140 and fight the winner of Josh Taylor and Ramirez, which I'm hearing the winner of that fight is planning on moving up to welterweight, so that fight may not even be available for him. Who will he end up fighting if he's not going to fight Devin Haney? Who will he fight that will be more of a significant opponent than the WBC champion in his own division, who's undefeated, by the way? Now, there's only one other fight that I could think of, actually two. One of them would be against his new mandatory, the IBF mandatory, which is George Kambosos Jr., who just beat Lee Selby. And what I thought was a good performance. I mean, it was a close fight. Some people saying it could have went either way, but I was really impressed with Kambosos' skills. So what I'm saying is, if Teofimo is not going to fight the winner of Josh Taylor versus Ramirez, if he's not fighting Tank Davis or Ryan Garcia, there's no doubt about it, the next biggest fight would be against Devin Haney. The Devin Haney fight would even be bigger. Of course, it would be bigger than the George Kambosos fight. But if he's not going to fight Devin Haney, then the Kambosos fight would also be a great fight. And I know people think I'm crazy when I say this, but I think that's a really, really competitive fight. It's a really competitive fight. But when it comes to Devin Haney is one of the highest paid fighters in the lightweight division right now. I mean, I think that the two top highest paid lightweights right now is Devin Haney and Gervonta Tank Davis. So the fact that you're going to get a big payday fighting against Devin, and he has the real championship WBC belt, it seems like that's all the reason in the world to take the fight. We'll see. Now Lopez, he says he's planning on jumping back in the ring around March or April of next year. So let's see how Ryan Garcia looks against Luke Campbell. And then we'll probably get an announcement from Lopez. But I'm expecting it to be a big name opponent. And like I said, the biggest name, if it's, once again, I got to keep saying this, if it's not Tank, Josh Taylor, or Ryan Garcia, there will be no bigger fight than Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney. And I'll go ahead and close out with saying this. So in my last video, I told you guys, I've been telling you for the longest, Devin Haney is the boogeyman in the division. And since I guess a lot of people, they don't understand the meaning or the definition of the boogeyman, let me go ahead and educate you guys. Because a lot of people, they were saying he's not the boogeyman, he doesn't have any power and this and all that kind of stuff. Being a boogeyman has nothing to do with how much power you have. It has nothing to do with the style, how you fight. Being the boogeyman obviously and simply just means you are the most avoided in the division. The only way you stop becoming the boogeyman is if people start to come after the boogeyman, right? At one point, Errol Spence was the boogeyman at 147. But once everyone started to call him out, he's no longer the boogeyman. Terrence Crawford used to be the boogeyman after Errol Spence was. But now, since so many fighters are calling him out, there are no more boogeymen in the welterweight division. So until someone calls him out, he holds that title. You know, it's pretty interesting because when Teofimo Lopez, when he beat Lomachenko, everyone said they wanted to fight Teo. Every time Ryan Garcia fights, everyone wants to fight Ryan Garcia. But every single time Devin Haney has fought, no one has come out and said, I want Devin Haney next. Maybe Teofimo Lopez is the one that's going to remove that title from Devin Haney, that title of being the boogeyman in the division. We got to see how it plays out. And one final thought before I end this video. For people that'll try to make excuses for Teofimo saying, oh, well, he doesn't have to fight him, he's not going to make any money fighting against Devin Haney. You can't use that excuse in this situation because Devin Haney was actually getting paid more than Teofimo Lopez was before Lopez, of course, fought pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world, Vasyl Lomachenko. According to reports, Lopez made $400,000 against Richard Comey. In Devin Haney's last two fights, he made over $1 million. And that wasn't against Lomachenko. But Lopez did make $1.2 million against Lomachenko. So my point is, it's a big money fight. That's my point. So it makes you wonder, who is Lopez going to fight where he can make the kind of money he will make against Devin Haney? So I'm a little optimistic about this. I think that Teofimo, he's going to take the Devin Haney fight. You know, Devin Haney or Teofimo, he said, you know, I want to take the fight just for bragging rights. But you're going to get, or you're going to win more than bragging rights. You're going to earn more than that. You're going to earn a big payday, and you're going to get the real undisputed title because you are going to then become the WBC champion of the world. Now, you know that you're not the undisputed champion when even the president of the WBC admitted that the franchise belt is not a belt. Hey, but just don't take my word for it. You can hear it from the president himself.
And it's
How did you choose Lomachenko? Because
I did not choose him. He requested, Canelo requested So we send out a vote and we analyze his history.
Ooh, Canelo and Lomachenko requested?
Absolutely.
Ooh, you just made headlines.
Lomachenko,
You just made headlines.
Lomachenko, top rank, requested. And let me tell you, we analyzed the request. Two-time Olympic champions. Two-time Olympic, 2 cycles Olympic champion. Champion in 3 different weight categories. And nobody can doubt he's in the top of the top of the top.
Define the franchise belt. Can you define it?
The franchise is not a belt, it's not a championship, it's a designation given to elite, unique fighters who carry the industry of the sport of boxing.
So there it is right there, guys. Nothing but the whole truth. You had ESPN's Max Kellerman damn near begging and urging Teofimo Lopez not to fight Devin Haney by telling him, you don't have to fight anybody. You are the undisputed champion. And then you had Yahoo Sports, Kevin Iole, when Teofimo did his little live chat where he was talking to the fans, asking them, who do you guys want to see me fight? They all said, according to Teo himself, they all said Tank Davis, because this was right after Tank Davis, knocked out Leo Santa Cruz. He said, oh, it looks like everyone wants to see me fight Tank. And then Kevin Iole of Yahoo Sports, he was in the chat, and he's going to tell him, I would like to see you fight the winner of Josh Taylor versus Ramirez. You see, it's all about that MBF, guys. But I have confidence in Teofimo Lopez that he's not going to allow old media to ruin his legacy by listening to them tell him to avoid this fighter, avoid that fighter. It's so crazy. These are the same people. These old media members, Max and Kevin Iole and all the other ones, these are the same people that claim they didn't like Floyd Mayweather because they call him a cherry picker. But then when it comes to fighters that they like, they openly tell them to cherry pick. And then they're still going to praise them once they cherry pick. We know what time it is. But what they don't understand is Teofimo, he doesn't need to be protected. And they should be showing that type of confidence in Teo. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. What's going on, guys? I've always wanted to find a second source of income. And I've always wanted to learn about stocks and trades because I've heard so much good stuff about it. So I finally found a way to do it. And now I'm learning from 6, 7, 8-figure traders. So not only am I learning from them, but the most important thing is I get to copy their trade. So I get to earn while I learn. Now, if you want the full details, click on the link below so you can learn while you copy and paste their trades. And just understand this, guys, just by watching the video, you're doing a great job of supporting my channel, and I appreciate it. And the craziest thing about doing this trading is you can do it anywhere. All you need is an internet connection, and you can do it just with your phone. So if you want to learn how to make a second income alongside me without having to pitch, sell, or recruit, go ahead and click on the link below, and I'll see you inside. I always say on this channel, pay-per-view fights should actually be free. And now the day has come where I'm about to hook you up with an app where you can watch all your pay-per-view events, boxing, UFC, etc. for free. I want to introduce Block TV, the best internet streaming television app out there. They provide over 3,600 channels, including HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, and Stars. They have a massive video on demand library with over 40,000 of the new release movies and the latest TV.